Howdy-ho, everyone. Welcome to the continued series of chatting in the shop with Badger Archery. So I'm going to let Sarah sort of run this one today. I'm putting her on the spot. Fill everyone in on some of the events that you guys have. So first, let's introduce Billy. Round of applause. Hey, Billy, first, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit and talk about your business, talk about your connection with Badger, and then we'll pivot over to Sarah.
Okay. So I met Sarah by just walking into the shop. I had been interested in archery for a while and I knew I needed help, so came to Sarah and took some lessons. She revamped all my shooting because I had very bad habits. I had bought a bow and gone back to work in New Zealand and took what they taught me that night at the shop, and that's all I knew. And went over there and started hunting with a bow. And yeah, I've done a bunch of different things in my life. Currently, I'm doing more with my leather and artwork. I have a small business. I named it before I met Sarah, so we both have Badger in our business. Badger Leatherworks. So.
Isn't that hilarious?
I was wondering that connection.
There's not one.
Yeah. Just happenstance.
We both didn't know each other, named our businesses with Badger.
Yeah.
So we were meant to be buddies.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's me.
Cool. Well, welcome to our episode today.
Thank you.
Yeah. So as far as like what we have going on at the shop, it's been a little while since we caught up. So we start our winter leagues here starting on it's going to be on the 20th because we added a Tuesday. So we have Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to have paper leagues. And then on Thursdays and Fridays, we still have 3D leagues. So if you haven't gotten signed up for that, we still do have room on the line for those. And call us or stop in to get signed up for that. Those are a ton of fun. We really look forward to leagues every year, and it's a great way to keep practicing through the winter time and honing your skills and everything. And so that's one of the big things we got coming up. We've also got a small group of kids classes here starting on I guess it would be it's a Saturday for the week of the 21st, so I have to think of my head. I think it's like the 24th is what date those start. And we have a few sessions coming up this spring of different kids classes. So those are a couple big shop happenings. But in other news, we've had some really cool things going on. We kind of did like a little staff retreat about a week ago. And so Seth, we're going to have Seth on here one of these times, but Seth, Billy, and myself, we went and did a seminar that was really neat. So that was with Page Peirce. She's a phenomenal professional women's archer and avid hunter and just kind of an amazing person, really. And we learned a lot at her seminar. It was really good. And it was able to, for me, I felt like it was a really nice confidence boost in my, from a professional of like, wow, what I've been teaching people is pretty good, but I also learned a couple little things myself that I'd like to implement, and I think it was really good for all of us to kind of like hear some information from someone who knows a heck of a lot more than we do. So
yeah, it's kind of unreal. She's been on the circuit for 18 years doing it professionally, and so it's really neat to hear from somebody who doesn't just do it as a passion but as a full-time job.
Yeah.
And how she implements her bow tuning and I don't know, pretty amazing chance to get to learn from somebody at the top.
Definitely, yeah. I think the biggest thing, I think we all took away our own things from it, but one big thing that, I feel like we can all take from it is that, never let yourself feel like you're plateaued and that you don't have any room for improvement. Like, there's so many different things that we should always be thinking of tinkering with. That was one big takeaway that I had. And, like things to make your bow aim better. There's a lot of different things you can do with that, like micro-tuning your draw length or, sometimes it helps just a change in releases or a change in your stabilization or doing like something called torque tuning. Like there's a lot of different things that you can do to help your bow work better for you, and everybody's different. So
Talk a little bit about what torque tuning means, because I think a lot of people who are not as progressed in archery, they hear all these terms, but they don't exactly know what they mean. So
torque tuning is you're going to move your rest or your sight back and forth, and you're going to intentionally torque your bow one way or the other, and you're going to judge how those arrows react and make adjustments forward or backwards with your rest. So it doesn't change your arrow flight, it's more just changing how your arrow reacts coming out of your bow. So.
And when might a person know that they need to maybe try torque tuning?
So the idea of torque tuning is like when you are under pressure or in a situation where maybe you're a little bit uncomfortable, you might have a tendency to put a little bit of torque on the bow, not intentionally. And so the idea of torque tuning is just to make it a little more forgiving in those situations. And depending on your accessories, you know, you may not have a lot of ability to do much torque tuning. But it's one big thing that you know, you can do to try to help your bow be a little bit more forgiving to human error. I don't know that I would recommend it quite at a beginner level, but for your more advanced shooters, I think it's something to think about for sure. So that was one. Just, I mean, I've done a little bit of torque tuning in the past, but it was really nice just to see, you know, go through it again and just see everything. And I don't know, I thought that was really neat. And Billy had a lot of good takeaways too from.
Yeah, I think with like some of those tuning suggestions she had, they're only relevant if you're somebody who can shoot an arrow and predict where that arrow is going to land. If you don't know what you've done and whether that arrow should be in the center or low 7 o'clock, then you're not at a point where a lot of that fine tuning is going to be a benefit yet.
Right. Yeah. It's more for the little bit more advanced.
Yeah, you definitely have to be at a certain skill level to be able to even consider it or spend your time on it. I mean, I honestly, the majority of people really just need to work on their technique that are, you know, at a beginner / intermediate, even a slightly advanced level.
Yeah, I mean, that was me last night. I would say that I'm at a slightly advanced. I'm not to your guys' level, but I've been shooting for a long time, but I've never had any coaching. And I've gone into other archery shops and they've never pointed out any of the things, but something as simple as like shifting my weight back when I pulled back, you know, and having my head back versus staying straight. You know, those very small, meticulous habits that people create over time that you don't really know because they're not affecting your shooting too much, but probably to a certain extent. And once you pointed that out to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so much more like centered when I shoot now. Because and I didn't realize it until after you pointed it out of like, oh, I actually am like coming back and then I'm having to like come back in versus just being like, boop, you know. And so that's going to take a little bit of repetition, I'm sure, to like completely remove those habits. But
totally, yeah. And that there's a lot of subtlety in like when I'm watching someone shoot, it's like when I watch you shoot, your form looks really good, and then I start watching it, and it was just little tiny things that I was picking up on, you know. So definitely just small tweaks to a person's form can make a huge difference.
Yeah. I do love that we're always learning and we're always improving, and maybe we formed one small little bad habit, and so like, all right, let's really focus on that and like outgrow that, and then there's something else, you know. What are some of the other takeaways you had from the seminar or the shooting experience? Did you shoot pretty good? How did you feel shooting? Did you feel the pressure with all the people there?
So I actually loved it.
Yeah.
I loved that first day. I actually was fighting my back going out the whole time I was there. So, I mean, Sarah can attest. I was sitting there like crunching up my back in between ends just to try to like get that back to loosen up. It was in my lower back, but I shot my personal best with skinnier arrows.
It's awesome.
I tied myself with skinnier arrows because I was shooting 4 mils. I went into it wanting to challenge myself. And I knew I had a setup that was maybe not ideal. I had no stabilizer, shooting skinny arrows. But I actually loved it. For me, it was like, I've done a lot of things in my life that give me little adrenaline drops, and a lot of them have a lot higher stakes. So to me, I'm like, all I gotta do is shoot an arrow instead of like fall off a train and die. So So it was actually quite fun, and enjoyed it. Was excited to shoot the next day. Unfortunately, my back issue moved up in between my shoulder blades, and I just couldn't get consistent shots away.
Yeah.
So I dropped 20 points in 10 ends, and yeah, didn't do my personal best, but I also knew what I was working with. And
Yeah.
so I was having problems with like my release going off hot, which is not normal in a tournament. But I was just not able to set those back muscles up the same every time because I was dealing with pain that would twinge through my back.
Probably so much tension and pain. It's awesome you had a really good first day and you got that good score. I'm sure that felt really good.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It was just fun because I went into it curious on what that pressure would do to me, how I'd react to it, and excited to try shooting under that kind of pressure.
Yeah. Have you had any situations while hunting in the field where you've had that and you've had to sort of deal with it?
Yeah, I have. I let a bull walk 2 years ago because of that. Just had too much of an adrenaline drop and wasn't positive on the yardage, and I needed to get on a plane in 2 days. And I was like, I told myself, unless I have a perfect shot opportunity, I'm not going to let an arrow fly. So I let him walk off. But honestly, the best shots in the field tend to be when you have that small adrenaline jump and then you're able to get your breathing back under control really fast.
Yeah.
And focus. If you can focus on the task instead of how exciting the experience is, oftentimes you can get it under control again.
Like Cameron Haynes says, his heart rate never goes up. I don't know.
Cameron Haynes.
I don't know if I ever want to be at that level. I really like the challenge of like, oh, they're coming in and you get excited and having to work it back down and having the ability to do that.
Totally. And I think experience helps with that. Like shooting indoor, none of us claim to be any professional archers or anything. But I hadn't been to an indoor tournament in 6 years, and I was like, oh, I'm a little nervous. And that's about shooting indoors, the nerves, I feel like it's a close replication to hunting.
Yes.
About as close as you can get without actually, having an elk stand there in front of you or whatever animal it is. Shooting tournaments and shooting indoors is one of the best things that you can do to help your skills overall.
Yeah.
And you're never going to replicate that animal being in front of you, but I sure think it helps a little bit. You learn how to work yourself through situations when you're nervous. And obviously, like if we're talking about the hunting scheme of things, part of it is just getting out there and getting experience. I remember the first time I actually had an elk relatively close to me with my bow, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they do exist, And I'm a lot calmer, as I've matured in my hunting. But anyway, I think that's as far as archery goes and refining your skills. Getting repetitions and getting out there and doing tournaments is I think it's amazing. And then, you talk to a lot of these target archers, and a lot of them are very passionate hunters. They're into target archery, but they're also very passionate hunters. And being good at target archery is going to make you a better hunter, flat out.
What would your advice be for someone who wants to get into shooting competitions? I feel it could be intimidating because there's a lot of really skilled archers there. So what would be maybe a few small steps they can take to build that confidence and to get to a point where they feel like they could walk into a tournament and shoot?
I think starting out at a local level is probably, just sign up for your local tournament. We have a 3D shoot here that we do at Maverick Mountain Ski Area every year. I don't have the exact dates off the top of my head, but it's the weekend before Bannock Days, so it's going to be mid-July. We'll have flyers here at the shop. But, I think that just going and doing it and not being afraid of people judging you or anything like that, because archers are some of the most welcoming people, and you just kind of have to take that leap and just try it. You might be nervous. You're like, I have people that are like, oh, I don't want to do leagues because I'm not that good. it doesn't matter how good you are. It's about making yourself better. So, I don't know, and Billy can kind of vouch for this from personal experience. I mean, you haven't been to a lot of tournaments.
No, I haven't. That was my first indoor.
Yeah.
And so, saying I enjoyed it and like the pressure and all that, we'll see. Because, like, you know, I know from training horses, you ask them to do something for the first time, they do it great. Well, you face them with it 2 or 3 more times, and all of a sudden they get worried about it. So, I don't know. I'd still to see whether I can handle that pressure well or not. But yeah, I think that in general, if you put yourself under pressure to shoot, it's gonna help you in those high pressure hunting situations. Like I remember the first time I shot 3D leagues. I didn't sign up. I just shot one day for fun. And I was like, oh, thank goodness there's nobody down here. I'm just going to shoot through the course really fast, which was not the point, you know. And eventually I did that like 3 times that year, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to sign up next year.
Yeah.
And I signed up with a crew, and I was shooting with a whole bunch of people, and you have to work through your nerves. You have to work through the feeling of somebody watching you. And now I'm the kind of shooter that I don't care if I'm the last one on the line. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Go ahead and look at my form. I don't care.
They're gonna be like, dang! Take some notes from her.
And you go to like an indoor tournament and there's 100 people on the line, and you might be the last one on the line, and that is okay. I mean, you have to teach yourself that, you know what, there's going to be 100 people watching you, and you get to a point with your confidence that you're like, I don't care about that. I'm just worried about what I'm trying to do. But it does give you that little bit of like, oh, okay, like I have to perform whether someone's watching me, not, whether there's an elk standing there, not. You have to focus on your execution of making a good shot for you.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like you and the target, you and your set process, and the target sort of drowning everything else out.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I've heard from people they've met some of their coolest friends through doing shoots. You know, it's just a great way to connect with like-minded folks.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, we've even noticed this in our shop, the friendships that have formed. You know, that's kind of neat. Like, the shoot this weekend, I think we had 10 or 11 Dillon people at it, which was amazing. Like, we saw our logo gear all over the place, and we thought that was just really neat.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
People.
Yeah, I had people asking me, "Are you from Dillon as well?" I'm like, yep.
Yep, we're representing.
Or at least that's my shop. I'm from the area.
Yeah. Yeah, so, Draya had something exciting happen. She got a new bow yesterday.
Got a new bow. It's like Christmas after Christmas. Yeah. So this is my, not to like go through the new bow every year. That's definitely what it hasn't been, but it's been cool to slowly progress each time with a bow. Like, I did have a bow at one point that was way too big for me. I sold it like after a year, but the previous bow I had was that Hoyt Eclipse, and I loved it. It's really great for women. It's small, it's light, but the poundage only goes up to 50, and I just felt like I was being held back a bit. And it wasn't very easy to adjust things, you know. You had to like buy new, what are the things in the modules to increase weight, or not weight, but your draw and stuff like that. So I went with the Mach 30, and I love it already. Have even had it for 24 hours. So really looking forward to just like relearning a new bow, and, you know, giving myself grace with it, and just learning and improving and seeing where it takes me. So Sarah's been absolutely awesome. I had basically a personal coach yesterday as we were setting things up, watching my form, and just having the mindset of like, I'm going to let her like tell me what she sees, and I'm not going to take it personal, and I'm going to try to apply those things. I think it's so beneficial because, like I was saying earlier, we just like create these really small bad habits that over time really do affect your shooting. And, you know, that could have been why I missed all those antelope this year. Who knows? Or it's because it was windier than, and I was shooting long distance with a 50-pound bow, but, you know, go and get a personal session with someone. If you can, swing in. And Sarah's pretty awesome. It was cool to just like have all those takeaways from one night in the shop.
It was kind of hilarious because we got everything set up, and then I just like guessed where her sight would be, and she shot like 10x, 10x, 10. I was like, okay, I guess we're done.
Don't be excited. It's there.
Yeah, so, and we filmed it all, so I'm excited to sort of get all that content put together for you guys to see of her, doing every single step from a bow that's just a bow all the way to the accessories.
Yeah, and we definitely spent some time filming a few other little side shoots of like, how we level a sight and some of those kind of things.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun.
And like we say every time when we sit down and record, like we want to gear this recording, these podcasts to our audience and the things that you guys want to hear, what you want to learn about, what you're curious about. So as always, just leave your comments in the comments below. And
absolutely.
we'll address them. This is a new thing like we were talking about, but it's been fun. It's been cool to just like sit down and chat, and we did a couple through Zoom. Be cool to get more of the shop in here.
Yeah.
Maybe even like get Lance to guest appear. Get some of the community in here, but
That would be fun.
the more I'm around here, the more I hear about Badger Archery, and it's cool just how important this place is to the community.
It's very important in the community.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just been the most enjoyable thing about our shop is like just the community that's getting built around it, and I've just really enjoyed all that. So I know I've said that a lot, but that's a big thing, and I really appreciate everybody's support and everything. And this podcast is kind of fun. I didn't know what to think of it. I don't know how much I've liked having the mic on me, but the thing I've noticed though is like, hey, what are you guys doing another podcast? So anyway, I guess there's some people are liking it. So and I don't know, we can offshoot in whatever directions that people want, and go from there. So
Absolutely.
yeah. What we were talking about was like that adrenaline dump that you get when you're hunting. Like, does it go away? Is it just subsided and under control? How calm are you?
Yeah,
Talk about some of that.
I think most of the time with the bow, it's hard for me to do that with a rifle. I've had multiple shots where I just have that little click moment, and I'm like, that's my shot.
Yeah.
Like, with my elk this year, that was just how it was. It wasn't a big adrenaline dump or anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what I love about bow hunting.
Yeah, it does give you more, especially if you're sitting like in a blind or you're waiting for an animal to come in.
Mm-hmm. Some of the most excited I've been is sitting in a tree and a whitetail came in. But that's because I'm fairly newer to the whitetail world, and that was in South Dakota, and I was just like, I could barely pull my bow back because I was like, this is what it's like. And being in a tree and trying to pull back, it was tough. And I was so fired up, and I was so hard on myself because I gut shot her, and then it just rained and like really hard, so I never found her. And I was like, I'm gonna be done. And Clint's my friend's like, no, like there's so many deer here. You have another tag, keep hunting. And that's normal. This is why we do it, right? Like we do it to get excited. The day I don't get excited is the day I'm going to hang up my bow. Like cool campaigns that you can do it with your heart rate not going up, but like I don't want to get to that point. I want to be able to have some excitement and be able to have to work through that, and it's fun getting excited, and I've noticed in the guiding career, like beginning of season versus end of season. Beginning of season, I'm just like, and then end of season, I'm a little bit more calm. Like, okay, it's here. But then again, it is rifle season too, so it's like, okay, they're at 250 yards. One thing I've had to learn in guiding is like I have to maintain my composure. Sometimes I would get so excited, and I was doing this a lot when I first started guiding. And sometimes I still do it, like I get so excited and then my clients are feeding off of it. So then they're so excited. So I realized like, got an elk. Okay, let's get over here, let's get set up. Focus on our breaths,
They're trying to help them stay calm if they're maybe a little bit jazzed up.
Yeah, but if I'm way up here, they're gonna be way up here. And then they're probably gonna make a bad shot, they're not gonna be able to find it in the scope.
Didn't you feel that when you stood on the line last weekend? You could feel the communal energy of everybody.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And everybody
Everybody's
was
serious,
jazzed up.
taking deep breaths.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know. That was interesting to me because I was like, this is a contagious feeling. I mean, we're wired to take cues off other people.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, but I'm not going to in this situation.
Yeah, being able to recognize that and be like, nope, not gonna let it affect me. Which I'm sure takes time practicing. to get to that mindset?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is I've been playing around with mindset for a long time, so.
I also think there's some inherent level of confidence that you have to have in yourself and your abilities and all of that to help
Right.
yourself calm down too. Like when there's a deer standing 20 yards in front of me, yeah, I'm a little bit excited, but I know I can make that shot, and I have that confidence in myself that I know I can make that shot. Like, I think if there was a little more doubt, you'd probably be a little more nervous, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, well, as soon as you let the doubt in, that's where the nerves start spiking.
Yeah.
For me anyhow, I was noticing on those paper targets, if you let a doubt in, you're gonna drop a point pretty much. That's what
I don't want to shoot the 8.
Yeah, or you're literally like, my release, it won't go off, and then that's when you drop a point instead of just staying on task.
Yeah, let it happen.
Yeah.
So between the three of us, let's think about the critters we got this year. Antelope, elk,
Black buck,
black buck, right?
feral hog,
Feral hog. So
and
this
a
past-
mule deer.
And a mule deer.
Yeah.
5 critters.
Yeah.
You got your...
I got a feral hog,
Yeah.
and that was it with my bow.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter, bow or rifle, but
Because
for the season.
I
Yeah.
got a spring bear and I got a little raghorn
Yeah.
rifle.
Spring bear, did you glass it up? What was sort of the strategy?
Yeah, usually I glass them up. This one I was going back into a park that I had hunted before and had found sign a couple years in a row, and missed an opportunity on a bear last year, and so I was just I took my rifle because I only had 3 days to put into bear hunting. My mom was coming to visit. She didn't want to go bear hunting. So I just walked around this bush towards this park I was going to go to, and there was a bear less than 50 yards from me. So I backed behind the bush and assessed him and decided, I guess I'm here to shoot a bear. Here's a bear.
Nice.
Yeah, I should have had a bow because he was oblivious, just chewing on grass, and I could have closed
Yeah.
some distance easy on him.
Yeah. I had an opportunity at a bear during the fall with my bow. And I've been around a lot of bears, especially with guiding, and they come into the calls, or I'm not necessarily scared of black bears, you know, but I respect them in a way. I'm not just gonna like walk up to one, you know, but I've had plenty of encounters to be like, okay, like I remember seeing one during archery season and was just like, oh, he was 150 yards away, and I just sat there and watched him. Wasn't nervous, you know. But I seen this bear one night while I was waiting for these elk to come out, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna put a stalk on him. He was down the drainage, up on the other hill, coming through a meadow, and there was like this little bench, and then it went really steep. I was so confident that I was gonna do it, and I get down to the bottom, and I had like 20 minutes of shooting light left, and I had to go up through the dark timber to get to him, and I couldn't do it. And I just sat there, and I looked up, and I was just like beating myself up, like, you can do it, just sit here. And so I would like sit, hoping he would come out, and I could get another visual on him, and then I would have. But in the end, I didn't do it, because I was too scared of like going up the steep. What if he's gonna see me and just come on top of me, you know, just sort of that setup of, it would be a lot different if I was sitting in a meadow and a bear came walking through. I think I would have been more confident on it. So I was just all mad at myself, walking back to the truck. In the meantime, spook a herd of cows that were right there. And so then I'm beating myself up even more about that, and I'm just like, hey, you know, what do you do? And you're supposed to be a guide. You're supposed to know what you're doing. Fighting all these like internal battles. You're a weak sauce. Like you couldn't even put a stock on that bear. And so I tell everyone back at the ranch, and you know, especially Jake, he's one of the owners, and he's just like, I don't mess with bears. I don't care if they're black bears or grizzlies. You did the right thing. Like very much just being like, everyone tried to make me feel better, and it worked. And I was just like, that's okay. Like know your limitations. You know, certain setups that could have been different. You know, but now I have that in my back pocket for next year to be like, all right, I know this made me uncomfortable. Do I want to push it a little bit more? Do I want to maybe strategize a little different instead of coming straight up under him, maybe come up and around? The wind wouldn't have allowed me to do that, but you know, those situations are good learning experiences, and they don't make you a bad hunter, or, you know, respecting the animals to a level as well where you're not going to put yourself in a situation. I was like 3 miles from the truck, and it was just about dark, and it was just like, I don't want to get eaten today.
I think becoming a good hunter, you screw up a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I have a lot of failures. Like,
Yeah.
so many.
And I also think it's okay to pass.
Yeah.
You know,
totally.
I think that actually that's a more important thing to understand than, you know, pushing your luck and having a wing and a prayer, just hoping something will work out. Like, you're better off. I've passed on quite a few animals where I'm just like, this is just not right. And I'd rather pass than wound.
Yeah.
Or back out and not disturb them and come back and put a stalk on them
Yeah.
that day.
Put yourself in a situation that you're just not comfortable in. I call it the sixth sense. Like, my gut was telling me, like, this just doesn't feel right to be coming straight up this steep hill right below this bear. You know, he's probably not going to smell you, but what if he comes up right on top of me and I startle him? And if he's going to run at me, he's going to be on me within seconds. Versus if it's a little bit more open, a little bit more flatter country where I can see and have time to react. You know, when you think about walking up a steep hill, like, you're fighting gravity to be aware. So, knowing your limitations. And, you know, you might beat yourself up. I definitely did, but I was like, okay, now I have that as a resource going forward, and it's okay. You know, you don't have to be like all the big, tough people out there, you know.
Yeah, we had a fun bear hunting experience a couple years ago. Billy got a bear with her bow, and it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was my top bucket list animal, so it was pretty neat to seal the deal on that one.
Well, let's hear the story.
You can start.
So, Jay, Billy, and I, our other friend Jay, you'll have to meet her. She's a lot of fun. She says all the inappropriate jokes that we think, and they actually come out of her mouth. She's not afraid to say them. But so we go on like a ladies' elk hunt every year, and Billy had said, like, hey, I brought my rifle. If I see a good bear sign, I am ditching you guys and going bear hunting. Okay, cool. And so we had spent a couple days elk hunting, and we have this little hike that we like to do, and we call it Eyeball Holler. That's not the real name of it, just so you know, in case anybody looks out their Onyx.
That's another story.
That's another story. Yeah, that is literally another story. It was named appropriately. But it's like this couple mile walk that we were on to go to this spot that is one of our good elk hunting spots. And along the way, we're kind of not really at that point in our prime elk area yet, and we were honestly kind of screwing around and talking and, you know, whispering and like
laughing.
We were laughing.
We were not being quiet.
We were not being quiet. Like, you would not think we were hunting. We were being a little too loud, probably. But anyway, we were screwing around, and we're walking along the trail, and I just happened to, like, I don't even know how I saw it, but I'm like, oh, looks like a bear. Across this little draw, and I pull up my binos. Hey guys, there's a bear right there. Sleeping bear. And
I'm like, yeah, like a bear stump, because you see all those burnt off stumps, and you think they're a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, they thought I was full of crap. There was a bear.
There was a bear. A sleeping bear.
So rare to walk up on a sleeping bear.
What are the chances of it? Like, the amount of times I've spent hunting, the amount of times I've ran into a bear, I think I've seen a bear one other time, and then to run into a sleeping bear, like...
And we're on the trail, and it's 140 yards away?
133 yards away.
Okay.
Rifle is 2.5 miles back at the truck. There's
Quite a bit of elevation to get to it.
Yeah.
And so like, it's 133 yards, but it's like, with a rifle, done deal, obviously. But like, with a bow, you know, she had to close some distance, and it wasn't just a like simple little stalk that she had to make on this bear. There's like this nasty like creek down below us with like jackstraw timber like crisscrossed across each other, and then there's a steep hill on the other side of it. And so Jay and I are like, well, Billy's like, Sarah, you weren't after the bear. I'm like, what are we doing? Go after the bear.
Yeah.
I knew she had a bear tag in her pocket. I was like, well, you spotted it, go. Yeah. She's like, no. And Jay's like, I don't want to shoot a bear. I was like, all right. And you said to me, I bet you wish you had your rifle now.
Yeah, I think we had that discussion.
And I was like, nope. I was like, this is my ultimate. So yeah, I ended up You guys sat there for a good hour at least before you could see me.
Yeah, like it was a nasty stalk for you, and like Jay and I were like, oh, this bear's just gonna get up and leave in a few minutes. It's probably, your hunting brain that goes, yeah, all your experiences that don't work out, you're like, yeah, whatever, we're gonna go on to our.
But you told me you were a cow call twice if you got up and moved.
Yeah.
So I was like,
don't give up.
I'm like, if I don't hear anything, I'm assuming that bear is exactly where I last saw it.
Yeah.
And I lost sight of it for quite a while, getting through that creek bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was hilarious because, like, what was it? Even 4 days later, I was going, why are my legs so sore? And it was because I was doing pistol squats the whole time. Because I put my foot down and then it was so crispy dry, everything snapped and made noises. And so I'm like testing the ground before I ever shift my weight. And I spent, at least 45 minutes or so just getting to within 30 yards of the bear.
Mm-hmm.
And the stinking thing wouldn't stand up.
Was he still sleeping when you got up on him?
Still sleeping. Occasionally I'd watch it pick up its nose, sniff the air. The wind was perfect, so it wasn't scenting me. And then it would just curl back up and snuggle back into its spot. And it had a tree right across its vitals. You could see its head sticking out one end and its little butt sticking out the other. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I stood there for 20 minutes at 30 yards.
Cool.
Waiting for it to move. And then I'm like, man, Sarah and Jay are probably getting impatient. Like, it's getting to that hour where
negative little man living on your shoulder. We joked that he's got a little negative. But I was like, do not give up on this. Like, you go. And we're like, do not back out. Because I know Billy to be like, oh, I'm inconveniencing that. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Go get your bear.
And so after about 20 minutes, the nerves started to finally get to me. And I was like, okay, I know when I start getting this feeling, I need to move. And that bear's not moving yet. So my next clear shooting lane, because there was all kinds of stuff in the way, deadfall, and the slope's like that, it's like a really, really steep slope. I was like, all right, well, my next clear shooting lane that I can tell is a shooting lane is 10 yards from the bear. And so I just started moving, and at 17 it opened up. I had a shooting lane that would have been about less than 12 inches across and about 18 inches high. And I was like, okay, this will work. And I could look down and see Jay and Sarah then. So at least they knew I was on it, and they weren't waiting in vain. And
we were good, but then we were like, this might happen.
Yeah. It's going down.
And then Jay and I, meanwhile, are like whispering back to each other. We're like, oh gosh, we've been down this hillside before. It's not going to be fun looking for a bear on this hillside. Like, all of the things, the negative things that can creep into your mind, like Jay and I are saying them to each other. Like we're like, oh man, I hope she gets a shot. And then we're like, holy cow, this might happen.
Yeah.
And so I kind of have it on video, like the whole thing, like it was just crazy. And she, that bear stood up or she shot pretty much right away. Like, it was quick. It was.
I had enough time at the 20 minutes sitting there imagining what my shot was going to look like, and then when I moved to that 17 yards, I was like, okay, it's going to happen. Hopefully, I don't have to wait another 20 minutes here.
Yeah. Stand up.
But it didn't take it long before it actually did stand up, and I just waited. It took 2 steps, and my arrow was gone.
Yeah.
I actually, when I was standing there waiting for it to stand up, I was like, oh, this is a chip shot. 17 yards, this is a head shot. This is
That's
what
awesome.
I've been practicing, these up-down shots. And and I when I shoot an animal, I visualize the vitals.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I always tell my clients, like, as we're hiking, as we're sitting around, just like visualize taking the shot, the step process, where you're gonna hit, when you're gonna draw back, when it's going behind a tree, when it's standing up, or whatever it might be. That visualization really helps.
Yeah.
So we have 2 extremes. You have me on one end, who is too scared to go after a bear on a hill, and then you have Billy, who just doesn't care.
I mean, I had throughout that whole stalk, I was like, there was a couple of times I thought, oh man, I hope I'm not wasting time for Jay and Sarah who want to elk hunt. And then at that 30-yard mark, I did, after around 20-minute mark, I was like, wonder what happens when you shoot a bear directly uphill from you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, that's irrelevant. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
Like, I literally just blocked it out because I was like, stay on task.
There's something to be said about when you're hunting in a group or with another person. My friend Alex and I were talking about this from her antelope hunt this year, because she had a rifle doe tag, and I was like, well, I'll just bring my bow just in case. But the main focus was trying to get her an antelope doe with the rifle. And we snuck up on this herd, and they busted us, and they ran down, and I was like, that big buck's not with them. And I didn't know if those antelope were like gone, or if they were gonna just kind of go back behind the ridge there. And so I'm like, let me just run over there real quick. Because I was taking a picture. It was a really pretty morning. It was really frosty, and there were these willows in this creek bottom that were all covered in frost, and the sun was coming up.
Nice.
And so I was like taking a video of it, and in the top corner of the video, I was like, oh, there he is. And I look up, and he's just up on the ridge looking down, you know, like, where did they all go? What's going on? And so he drops down around, and I'm like, let me see if I can cut him off. So I like bust back in there and kind of get on the ridge, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, Alex is, this whole time, I'm like, Alex is waiting for me. Like, I feel like I can't, like, actually pursue this.
Yep.
And I should have, because a couple minutes later, he came running by. Like, if I would have just wrapped around a little bit more, he would have came probably right to me. But that whole time, I was just like, we're focusing on the doe. You know, she was the one that traveled to me to try and get this antelope. You know, like, I've had a lot of opportunities this year. She hasn't. But because it was like that voice in the back of my head, like, so I was talking to her. I was like, that's why I love the solo hunting, is you can just go, you can do whatever. You're not in anyone else's time crunch. But,
Yeah, all the doubts came as soon as the arrow was gone from the string. Because then I was like, oh shoot, did I just get my friends potentially in trouble? We're going to be chasing a wounded bear through, like, near vertical deadfall. Like, what did I do? But in the moment, I didn't let that stuff affect me.
And what was so amazing was, like, the bear was dead in 30 seconds, not even. Like, it hopped over a log and it was done.
did you have this on video?
Kind of.
Okay.
Well, it's not.
There was a holy bleep, she shot it. And then we went, like, took off because we were trying to watch it run up the hill, and I, like, lost it. And I'm like, where did it go? And Jay's like, it's because it's dead. It's right there. Like, because we were trying to, like, it was running straight up the hill. Like, it was headed up the hill, and, like, we're, like, trying to get to where we could see so we can watch where it went. And it didn't go far. It went less than the distance that she shot it. Like, that was amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, it turns out when you shoot them directly downhill from them, they just go uphill. They just turn uphill and run
Away from the danger?
Yeah. She never saw me. She never saw me.
Maybe she jumped over a log and was done. I mean, it was...
Because I watched, I was so focused on that bear, I didn't even check my bubble. I didn't check, like, it just went into autopilot, and that arrow was gone.
Yeah. And it goes to show, picking the right hunting buddies. There would be people who would be so annoyed, like, oh, she's like taking up my time. So.
Yeah, we're like, Billy, kill the bear.
Exactly.
I think it's true, like, we'd all cut it together before, and, like, I had one time where Billy was, like, on some cow elk, and she was watching the clock and going, like, oh, gosh, we gotta go. And she backed out, and I was like, oh, Billy, we're okay. And then they ended up spooking.
She had a lesson.
But I already had, I already had a backup plan going on, and it was all good. I already rescheduled the lesson.
Yeah, like our day antelope hunting, and you're like, I'll be back in like an hour. Oh, can you just cover the shop today?
Hunting sometimes kind of gets
and to be fair, I got the bear down, and you guys came up to see it, and I was like, "Go elk hunting."
We're going. No, this is awesome. We're gonna.
So you all packed it out.
We did. Yeah. So we
with a few friends.
We had a couple friends come join us too. We were far enough from camp that we're like, do we just get this done and get it out of here? Do we leave it and we come back? And then you're thinking about the multiple trips down an eyeball, a holler.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we could talk hunting stories all day, but I got to get on the road.
Yep.
So, thanks for sitting down and taking the time to chat today, ladies, and we'll get on it again. So, as always, subscribe. We appreciate you guys listening, leaving in the comments anything you want to hear about in particular, and we'll make sure to address those. I really like doing those Q&As, so maybe we can arrange another Q&A session where it's just focusing on questions that you guys might have for Sarah.
Okay.
Or for someone who's guided for a little bit now. So, till next time.